Hello and welcome to Crafting with Terry. I am Terry and today I'm going to show you how to make a no-sew heart pillow. So I've made this before a few times, but it's a craft that I've seen on Pinterest and where people would like make pillows and blankets and all kinds of different fun stuff, fabric-y crafts using this like no-sew technique. I even had an aunt who made me a blanket using the no-sew technique. And it's like she used felt and like different fabric to make this blanket. So it's a very useful tool to know, especially if you don't know how to use a needle. It's kind of a good way to like not have to do that. So today, here comes Nim. This is my cat Nim. She's going to join us. You're gonna have to scooch up a little bit. There you go. There you go. She's a little chonkers. So today, I'm going to show you how to make a simple little like heart-shaped pillow using this technique. And yeah, so let's get started. So what you'll need some felt or any type of fabric really. I'd suggest a fabric that is like not super tough, like because you're going to be tying strips of this. So I would suggest like a felt or maybe cotton or something that could be easily tied. So you want to pick 2 sheets of this fabric. So I have 2 sheets of felt, and they're 8 inches by 12 inches. So it's important to know the sizes. So I have 2 pieces of felt. These are my 2 favorite colors, blue and pink. So I have these colors. And then I have scissors, of course, a ruler, like I mentioned before, a little Sharpie, some type of like permanent marker or something, pencil, decorations. I have this jar of sequins that I'm going to use to decorate it once I'm finished. You'll need some polyfill, which is just basically, it's cotton that you stuff it with, stuffing. Some yarn and some clips and yeah, and paper because we're going to make a stencil first. It's just a lot easier to make a stencil. I'm going to give you just kind of a quick demo on how to make your own stencil. But I have this heart that I made before I got started. So I'll show you very quickly how you can make your own stencil. And you can use this to make any shaped pillow you want. It doesn't have to be a heart. It can be just a regular like square shaped pillow, rectangle, circle. It doesn't have to be a heart shape. But because it's Valentine's Day, I'm going to do a heart shape. So to make a quick little stencil, I'm going to make sure that the paper is the same, at least the same or bigger than the fabric that I'm using. So this is an 8.5 by 11 inch sheet of paper. So, and my felt is 8 inches long. So I'm going to just create a square using my ruler, an 8 inch by 8 inch square. So paper, ruler, pencil. So I'm going to take my ruler and I'm just going to, from left to right, I'm going to measure up to 8 and make a little mark. And then make a second mark because 2 points make a line. That's important to know. If you make any 2 points and connect them, it makes a line. That's geometry for you. So I'm going to draw. So this is 8 inches from this edge to this edge, where the pencil is. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm just going to make a square. And if you have trouble using a ruler, you can ask an adult or parent for help. But it's good to learn how to use a ruler as well. So I'm going to cut out my square. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect. All right, so I have a square sheet of paper. See, square sheet of paper. And now what I did was I folded it in half. This is a good way to like make a heart that's even on both sides. You fold it in half And starting from where the spine is, from that fold, you can make half of a heart. So I'm going to try to fill it up as much as I can. So I'm going to start where the heart kind of goes in like this to make the 2 humps at the top. So I'm going to start here. So I'm going to draw half of this heart. And then just kind of like go from this point here and just roughly draw a little half heart shape. Doesn't have to be perfect, because all hearts are different shapes. Okay, I'm going to do that. Notice how my lines are very scribbly, so it doesn't have to be perfect, like I said. So I'm going to cut this out. And make a heart, because when I open it, it's a heart that's even on both sides. So now, this is an important step. I'm going to make another heart inside of it, a little smaller. So I gave it about like a thumb length from the side, because you want some space, because this is going to be where we cut our fabric strips to tie. And you'll see that soon once we get to that step. So I'm just gonna, in here, I'm just gonna draw a little heart. And you want some space from the little heart's edges to the larger heart edge. So you draw your heart, and then the same thing like before, you just cut it out, and then you have your own little stencil. So yeah, so now that we have our stencil, I'm going to stack my fabric on top of each other. I'll line it up like so. And I'm going to take my heart stencil and put it on top. And line that up pretty well. And now I'm going to take my little Sharpie pen. You can use a regular Sharpie, you can use a marker. I use a Sharpie just because it doesn't rub when I'm working with the fabric. That's just if you want to use a Sharpie. Any tool that can make a mark on the fabric is enough. So I'm going to go ahead and trace the big heart shape. So you want to trace all the way around the stencil. So you hold the stencil down with one hand, and then you trace with the other hand. This is a good project for like if you're 6 and up. But it's also good like if you're doing it with your family, your parents, they can like do the more difficult parts and you can just decorate it. So, but I feel like if you're 6 and up, you would be able to make this fairly easily. So now, I finished tracing around the circle, around the heart, like so. So now I'm going to trace in the center of the heart. So I'm going to trace that smaller heart shape. So the smaller heart shape is going to be the final size of the pillow. So it's gonna be little. It's gonna be tiny. That's why I have some yarn. I'm gonna make a little hanger for it so I can hang it like on a doorknob or windshield or like a rear view mirror in a car or something. So yeah, so when you finish tracing it, you should have something that looks like this. So you have 2 hearts. You have a big heart and a small heart in the middle. So the clips, and this is optional, but I use it just to make it a little easier to handle. So I have these little binder clips. You can use a paper clip. You can use like the pins and sewing if you want to. But I'm just going to use it to clip my sheets of fabric together, just so it doesn't slide around and it's easier to cut it. So yeah, that's what I did. I just clipped it, keep it still and steady. And now I'm going to cut. I'm not going to cut the small circle. I'm going to cut around the big, I keep calling it a circle, the heart. I'm going to cut around the larger edge of the heart. So don't cut the center of the heart out. So I'm going to cut around. Ooh. Okay, be very careful when you're using scissors to always cut away from yourself. See? All right, so now And it's okay if you still see some of your Sharpie lines. That's totally fine. Okay. Don't... I'm only cutting this way because I am a professional at cutting with scissors, but if you're a kid, don't do that. Don't do what I just did. Do what I say, not as I do, is what they say. Okay. So now I'm going to put my clips back on the heart just to keep the heart part together. And finish cutting it at the top. You might need parents' help with this part too, because you might need some like fabric scissors, which are a lot sharper and a lot bigger. So for this part, you might need your parents' help. Okay. Sweet. The little fuzzies. And there we go. All right, so I have my heart cut out. Awesome. And so now what I'm going to do is so the center heart, that's going to be the final size of the pillow. And the space outside of the smaller heart, that's going to be where you tie your strips of fabric. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my same drawing tool that I used to trace the heart, and I'm just going to draw some stripes going from the small heart to the large heart, going all the way around. So I'll show some examples. And you can use your finger to measure. So I'm going to put my finger like on the side of the line and just make the lines about that width. See how it's just like little stripes I'm drawing? So I'm just going to do that all the way around the heart. You don't want the bottom to be too thin. You want it to be wide, at least as wide as your finger. We're gonna make little strips. And these don't have to be perfect, because you can always like trim them later. I'm kind of just eyeballing it. All right, so now you have these little strips. And then with your scissors again, you're going to cut these lines that you just drew. So you're going to cut the line and stop at the small heart. So you're going to cut down the line, but you're not going to cut into the heart, the small heart. So I'll do an example. So you're going to cut like this, okay? Don't cut into the heart. And you're going to do that for all of the lines surrounding your heart pillow. Again, you might need some help cutting, because sometimes fabric can be a little tricky to cut. You have to have like really nice fabric scissors. And here comes my kitty again. This will probably end up being her cat toy. I kind of drew my lines intentionally around the clip so I can keep the clip on. Let's keep it all together. Just keep cutting. Just keep cutting. Cutting, cutting. What do? You cut, cut. Okay. Same thing when you're using different shapes. Like if you're making a circle or a square, you want to have like a larger square and then a smaller square in the center, or a larger circle, smaller circle in the center, so you have enough space to like cut your little strips. So this is what it's starting to look like. You see? A little fringe. All right. Okay, so I finished cutting all my little strips. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to, and you really don't have to do this if you don't want to. I'm going to do it because I don't want my marker lines to show. I'm going to flip this pillow this way. And then I'm going to flip the other side this way. And put it back on top. Make sure the strips are lined up. They seem pretty lined up. Yeah. Okay, did y'all see what I just did? So it was originally like this, and then I just flipped both of them. Like that, okay? All right, so now here comes the fun part. Now you're going to start tying your strips together. So again, I'm going to use the pins to keep it in place. My cat just really wants to be in this video. I know, Nim, you want to be a star. You can be my assistant. Okay, so I'm going to start, I'll start like right here. You can start anywhere. So I'm going to take, so I have pink fabric and I have blue fabric, right? So I'm going to take a strip from either side, the opposite strip, the pink and the blue, and I'm going to just tie it in one knot. And your fingers might be a little smaller than mine, so you might have an easier time tying it than I do. But just tie one knot. Because we can always double knot it after. So I'm just going to do one knot for now. All right. And then you go on to the next one. So it's going to look like this. A little knot here. So I'm going to go on to the next two and tie it. And you don't have to tie it too tightly, just a little loose. Okay, and then the next two, tie it. Make sure the ends of the strips are outside and not inside. You might have to pull some of them out. Yeah, okay. And then the next one, tie it. So this is gonna take some patience. You're just tying strips together. Little nim. Okay, so you're starting to see a shape form. Okay, I'm going to remove that clip, continue tying. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the other side because I want to leave some of it open. So I'm going to start on the other side. I'm tying that. This makes good presents, Valentine's Day presents if you want to make something handmade. This is a really fun craft to do. You're starting to see a heart now. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I don't need the clip anymore. So as I'm tying the strips, I'm being careful and making sure that the ends of the strips are outside of the heart, not inside, because it'll be hard later to tighten them. Because you have to like dig them out. All right, so I think that's enough for now because I have some space open because that's where I'm going to stuff the stuffing in. So I want to leave a little bit of a pocket open. So now the next step is I'm going to add some polyfill. big chunk. I probably don't need this much, but yes, get some polyfill. It's all fluffy. I'm gonna put some on my cat. She does not know what is happening. So now I'm going to stuff it. And you want to make sure you stuff it all the way up to the edges. Make sure you get that shape, the shape that you want. This is gonna be a little heart. Nim is not moving. I don't think she realized that there's some cotton on her. Okay. So now I'm going to, I think that's enough cotton. Yeah. I'm going to continue tying the knots to finish closing it up. I'm going to take a little bit out for now because I think I needed to tie some more before I put the cotton in. Now my cat's butt is probably in frame. Look at that cat butt. I have 3 cats. Yes, this is the one cat that likes to be into everything. Okay, so now I'm gonna put the rest of that stuffing in. And then finish tying my strips together. Two more strips to tie. Oh. One more. So once it gets towards the end, it gets a little more difficult to tie the knots, so you might need to get some help. Or just have a lot of patience. It's getting there though. All right, one more. You got this. The final tie. Haha! Okay. Woo! Look how skinny it is. I love it. It's a short heart. So now I'm gonna go back in and just like tighten these knots. You can double knot it if you can. I'm just gonna tighten them. I'm not gonna worry too much about double knotting them. Just because it might be a little tricky. Let's see. Where'd you go? Ah. Gonna tighten all the knots. Gonna need that. So now I have a cute little heart pillow. It's so tiny and small. I love it. I love the colors. Okay, so now that you have your heart pillow, you're gonna decorate it. The fun part. Move your butt, Nim. So I'm just going to use regular glue. You can use fabric glue if you want, but regular glue works just as well. There goes Nim. And I have all these sequins. I'm going to glue sequins to it. Make it all sparkly. So excited. I'm just going to use my glue and just make little dots on the felt. And then start sticking them on. I love me some sparkles. Yay, sparkles! Put a little bit more glue. The glue kind of soaked into the felt a little bit. Let's see, what color did I not use? I want to use... another green one. Do I need more? You think I need more sequins? Yes. Yes, I need more. More sequins, more sparkles. You can never have too much sparkle, right? There's never too much. Let your inner sparkle shine. Ooh, want some silver ones. Ooh, tiny ones. Got some tiny ones. Let's see what other ones. This one's, I don't have any white ones, so I'll add some of those. And you can use anything to decorate your pillow. You can use glitter glue. You can use pom-poms. You can use like little rhinestones. You can even use other like felt shapes and glue it on top. You can pretty much use whatever you want. It's totally up to you. And it's a little bit more glue because the glue is soaking into the fabric a little bit. And last but not least, what color should I pick? Don't have this color yet. Boop. Well, we have one. I think that's enough sequins, right? I think it's good. All right, so I have my little pillow, and of course, you know, you want to wait for it to dry. It's going to take a minute to dry, but I want to be able to hang it. So I'm going to cut some yarn. You can use any yarn you want. And I'm just going to thread it through the 2 knots that are in the center of the little 2 humps of the heart. Just gonna kind of slip it through. Ideally you want to wait until the glue is dried before you do this, but I'm just gonna very carefully do it right now. Okay, come on, yarn, get in there. Just gonna loop my yarn through. Here we go. Oh! My cat is having a party off camera. All right. Oh, come on, yarn, get through. Okie doke. Now I'm going to thread it through another knot. Okay, and pull that extra cotton off. We don't need it. And I'm just going to tie a little knot at the top. 1 knot and then 2 knots. Make a double knot. Yeah. You can hang it from a doorknob. You can hang it above your bed. Whatever you want to do with it. You don't even have to add the yarn. You can use it for any other purpose. I'm going to double knot these top ones though. Okay, I think it looks pretty good, if I do say so myself. So now I have a little heart trinket. I'm so happy with how it came out. I'm excited. Yeah, so that's a way that you can make a no-sew heart pillow or plush, and you can do any shape you want. It's the same idea, except you just change the shape. Yeah, but I would recommend using like simpler shapes, not too overly complicated shapes, because it will be hard to tie the knots. But yep, here's a simple way to make a cute little heart pillow. All right, well, thank you for joining me today. I will see you next time, and I hope you have a wonderful Valentine's Day. Bye-bye.